All right. What were we talking about?
We were talking about all kinds of stuff. We
What
were
are we
talking
gonna
about
talk
comic
about
books.
first? I'm Lonnie,
I'm Mark.
and this
Comic
is
Book Malarkey.
Comic Book Malarkey.
And I think we're going to talk about Marvel Zombies first.
Yeah. You love Marvel Zombies.
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. Not at all.
No,
You didn't.
I tried reading it. I got like 2 books into it and was just like, I can't read
Well, I'm going to say this. I've read Marvel Zombies once.
it. Mm-hmm.
And, were you reading it on the Unlimited app?
No, I have.
Okay, you've got the digitals.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got that Unlimited app now. You really need to take advantage of that.
I've got it. It's on my phone.
I was
Marvel, send the check to Comic Book Malarkey for
yes,
plugging
Marvel
your crap.
Unlimited, $9.99 a month. Awesome deal. I think it's well worth the cash. Well worth. It's like the Netflix of Marvel Comics.
It is pretty cool. I mean, I do like the. No, actually, I was reading Zombies on here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marvel Zombies. Basically, what happens is
Marvel Unlimited.
it picks up
But I
right
haven't done
where
it.
the Ultimate Fantastic Four storyline left off. There was some stuff that happened before the actual. There were some lead-ins and other titles that happened.
Right.
And Magneto is he has Asteroid M, and that's like the safe refuge from the Marvel Zombies. And it's like a different Earth where Captain America instead is Colonel America.
Right. I caught that.
Like Iron Man has his like old style
He's got the Mark IV armor.
Yeah, the armor with the little fins or
Yeah.
whatever. We've got all that, and they end up all getting infected with the zombie virus. Now I know how it happens, and I know, how the whole thing starts and everything. But just putting that aside,
Everything gets blamed on Reed Richards from Earth 1616, isn't it? Isn't that the Ultimate Earth?
I'm
1616
not
is
sure what
Ultimate
the
Earth, and
number is.
616 is
But
Prime Earth.
Ultimate Earth. What had happened? Now, just a little bit of background. All we know up to this point is Ultimate Fantastic Four number 26. Ultimate Fantastic Four Reed Richards. He glimpses through like an interdimensional portal, or through like he gets contacted,
Right.
and it's this Marvel Zombies Reed Richards, but of course he's got it manipulated to where he looks human. And he was like, hey, my son Franklin's here, and we're having a great life over here. You ought to just you ought to come over and see us. He's like, here is the coordinates, or like the coordinates, and here's the blueprint for like this machine that you can build, and come over and see us. And he's like, okay. So he jumps over, and when he jumps over, everything's destroyed and it's all dark, and he's like, oh, what is this? And he walks out into the city, and like everything is just wasteland. And suddenly the zombie Fantastic Four pops up. It's like, you ever get the feeling that you've been had?
Yeah.
And so anyway, he ends up helping Magneto for a little bit, and the Marvel Zombies are chasing after him, and all this stuff happens. Well, this Marvel Zombies actually picks up where the Fantastic Four storyline left off. And I mean, that was like a build-up, into
Right.
it. And so what ends up happening is Magneto it's a losing battle against the zombies.
Right. And that was I got through all that part. That's
Okay.
the part that I got through reading. And again, it's just I do like that it showcases that Magneto is probably the baddest MF on the planet.
He is.
Because he's like, you are trying to fight me in the middle of a city, and I am surrounded by metal.
Yeah.
You're done.
Now, spoilers, just letting everybody know. Did you make the part where he got bit?
Yes.
Okay, he was bitten. They ended up eating him.
Yeah.
Like they wasn't gonna let him survive.
Like Hulk has a leg. It's well, actually they start fighting over him.
Yeah.
And then Hulk rips off a leg, and they're like, "That's all you get, Hulk."
Did you see the aftermath?
Yeah, where they're all sitting around and I got through.
And
all that
he
part.
reverts to Banner,
and he's
when
got his stomach's distended, and they're sitting there having a conversation about how that was what I think that's what bothered me, because so number one, I'm not a huge zombie person.
Okay.
You
said I guess zombie burnout at the very least.
Yeah.
But keep in mind that this series was printed in like 2005.
Right.
So this was before The Walking Dead. It was before, really about the only thing zombie related that had come out at this point was like 28 Days Later. And maybe 28 weeks later. Walking Dead had either just started as a comic or had not quite started, because I think they celebrated the 10th anniversary in 2015.
Okay. Well, I just the main problem I had with it and what made me stop reading it was like they're zombies, but they still have all of their intellectual capability. Even Captain Colonel America, after he got his head cut off, so they don't react like normal zombies, where it's like, oh, you shoot them in the brain, they're done.
Well, this was zombies in name.
Yeah.
It's technically just a virus that shuts the body down, but the brain still functions. And they made a point. I don't know if you got to that part yet, but they made it a point to say that even the human brain, sometimes you can remove a huge chunk
Right,
of it,
yeah.
and the person can still function.
Right, because that
somewhat.
was like after they said that, Steve. That's when Colonel America came up, holding part of his brain in his hand, going, "Well, I hope so." And, So and then and they were talking about how like nothing's moving, like all the blood's pulling at Daredevil's ankles, and that's why he's got swollen ankles, and Spider-Man's legs broke, and he's like, seriously, can one of you doctor type people fix my leg? The fact that there were zombies sitting around bantering bothered me.
Well, it gets better, because
Okay, I'll take your word on it.
what ends up happening is at the end of one of the books, Silver Surfer pops up,
Okay.
and they're like, "Who the hell's this?" And he goes flying around surveying. Of course, you know why he's there.
Right.
And so Silver Surfer pops up finally and slows down for him enough, and he's like, oh, and little do you know that Hank Pym, Giant Man, he has Black Panther sedated in his lab and is chopping limbs off to eat a little bit at a time.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't get that
And
part.
he's like, he's drugged out. Well, while he's gone and they get busy with Silver Surfer, Black Panther wakes up and he finds the Wasp's severed head, because Wasp walks in on Hank while he's sawing on
Right.
Black Panther, and she's like, "You better give me some of that." And he was like, "No, that ain't gonna happen." And they end up fighting. Well, finally Hank's like, "Look, I'm sorry," and he picks her up, bites her head off,
Yeah.
spits it out because it tastes horrible. Zombie flesh tastes horrible to
to
zombies.
And of course,
And-
that plays on the whole Henry Pym being an abuser to her in the original.
Ooh, I
Anyway.
didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But that is a very good nod to that story. But yeah, they end up finally overpowering Silver Surfer, and they eat him. And of course, he's got it takes him a while because he's powerful.
How do they get through the shell?
I believe Hulk ended up being the one that bit his head off.
Okay.
And
They
because
just start sucking it out through his neck like a straw.
yeah, they ended up I think it was Spider-Man and somebody else. Like Hulk got knocked out somehow, and they look into his mouth and they're like, "Oh, he just has the head," and they're like, "There's no meat in that," and so they all go over to the body, and they make a reference to peeling him open or something,
Okay.
like aluminum foil, and when they eat him, they gain some of the power cosmic, and when Galactus arrives, it takes a bit. But they finally construct some weapons and use the power cosmic and everything to end up eating him. And when that happens, they turn into the Galactus zombie horde, and they start flying from planet to planet, eating the entire races of the planet.
Okay. I may go back and try to read
That is the story in a nutshell. There's some more detail. There's a lot more cool stuff in it, but that is the story in a nutshell, and that is the end.
Okay.
They are Zombie Galactus, and then Marvel Zombies 2 happens. Marvel Zombies 2 is after they have been gone for 40 years and have wiped out
Pretty much the galaxy.
every conceivable planet in existence. They return to Earth to see if they missed anything, and that's where it picks up.
Okay.
Marvel Zombies 2, and then I think they have Marvel Zombies 3, Marvel Zombies 4, Marvel Zombies 5, and it ends up showing how the entire thing got started.
Okay. I know that there was one that had Ash from the Evil Dead in it. There was
that was Marvel
crossover.
Zombies versus Evil Dead. That was kind of a spin-off.
Yeah, I know that there was that crossover.
It does get to the point where they start, dimension hopping and stuff. I'm trying to think. Marvel Zombies Dead Days is actually just a few minutes after it starts. and it's a one shot, and Spider-Man pops up in his apartment, and of course Aunt May and Mary Jane's sitting there, and he was like, they responded to some kind of threat, the Avengers did, and there was something fell from the sky, and the Avengers showed up, and I tried to help Colonel America, and he bit me, and like he's got this big chunk missing out of his arm, and of course Aunt May's like, I'm gonna go get the iodine, doctor you up. And so when she comes back, he has eaten Mary Jane.
Right.
And he was like, oh my God, I can't believe I've done this.
Right, because I remember in the first issue that I read, he was like, I ate my aunt, I ate my girlfriend,
Yeah, and
like,
who's the dude with the gold helmet with the red thing? Nova? Yeah, he shows up. He was like, Spider-Man, something really messed up is going on. We need your help. And he looks in there, and like Spider-Man has already eaten Mary Jane and his aunt. And he was like, I can't believe it. Like, he's just tearing him up because the hunger overtakes them. But once they eat, they gain their right mind again. And then they're like, oh, crap.
Okay. See, I was wondering about that because, like, they were sitting, like, after they ate Magneto, they were sitting around and talking, and Bruce was talking about, like, his stomach's all distended, and he's like, I'm not even sure my stomach's in one piece now. And I mean, it looks like he's got a refrigerator in his belly, and I'm just like, what the? And then I like the fact that they reference that if Giant Man and Wasp shrunk down, they could eat for days on small bits of people.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. Like, at least they incorporated in like the powers and everything. But like, why did Wolverine's healing factor kick in?
Wolverine doesn't have a healing factor.
In that universe?
He does, but once he becomes a zombie, it's gone.
But that's just it. Why didn't the healing factor fight the virus?
I think this is some hardcore stuff.
Yeah, because...
I mean, hardcore. It's like, it is planet-ending.
Okay.
And it's interesting to see how it begins. You'll have to see.
Okay. I'll go finish reading it then.
They don't actually show how it begins until Marvel Zombies 5. Like, they show the origin, how it started.
So 5 is a flashback.
You'll have to.
So it's kind of like I watched Star Wars Episode 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then I got to go back and watch Star Wars 1, 2, and 3.
People who have read Marvel Zombies, you know what I'm talking about? I can't say anything.
All right, fair enough. So he had asked me to read, for this segment, he had asked me to read Marvel Zombies, and I was like, okay, and you actually, with what you've told me, have kind of got me interested enough to go and pick it back up.
Yeah,
because
I'm telling you,
with what I read of it, I was just like, I'm done. I'm out.
And you didn't finish Marvel Zombies, but in all fairness, you wanted me to read Nightfall, and I only made it like a couple issues into it. So we've been failing miserably at our jobs here.
Coming soon, the Comic Book Malarkey Nightfall episode.
Yeah, we will be doing that because I didn't know that you sent it to me. And
until last night, you didn't get the notification until last night. Yeah,
I didn't even get the notification. I have to go in and look. Yeah,
I'll let you know from now on when I send you something. I'll just let you know. Hey, it's there.
Yeah, everything else that you sent to me at that point showed up in my email.
Right.
This didn't.
Huh. Weird.
So I didn't even know it was there.
Speaking of which, if there is a story arc you want us to cover, comment down below. Let us know. We'll go and grab it and read it and tell you what our thoughts on it are. If it's like one of your favorites, if you're like, this is the most horrible story ever, read it and tell me what you think.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Are you really offering that?
Yeah, why not?
It's like, if you have a story, and then it's like, like the Joker in the 1989 Batman movie, it's like, if it's really good, chances are we've read it already.
Yeah. and then you have, and then coming up, he will be reading the Battle of the Beta Ray Bill, and we'll be doing an episode on that.
Yeah, I'm going to really have to struggle through that. I'm going to have to find something. I'll tell you what, you power through Marvel Zombies, okay. I will read the Battle of the Beta Ray Bill.
We got anything else on this one?
No, just kind of talking about, because I know we're probably going to talk about Marvel Zombies 2 at some point, Marvel Zombies 3, because I'll go ahead and tell you, if you power through Marvel Zombies 1, you'll want to read 2, 3, and yeah, but no, that's pretty much it for Marvel Zombies. But I do want to kind of talk a little bit about number 2, just a little.
Okay.
What they do as far as paying attention to how the characters are and everything. There is a part in Marvel Zombies 2 where they're flying through space. They think they've pretty much eaten every planet, and Spider-Man cracks a joke against somebody, and I think it's Giant Man is like, by God, if you say another damn joke while we're flying through space, I'm going to kill you. And he was like, well, I can't help it. It's just it's what I do.
It's who
He's
I
like,
am.
you get big, I make jokes. And they've been flying through space for 40 years, and everybody's just sick of hearing Spider-Man talk.
That's got to be fun.
Yeah. There's some stuff like that in this series. They nod to certain things. So, I mean, personally, Marvel Zombies #1 at least. I give a solid 10 out of 10. I know you haven't read it.
I haven't finished reading it, so I'm going to hold off on
hold
my
off.
evaluation. But yeah,
I would guess you would give it at least an 8 once you finish.
okay, because right now it's sitting at about a solid 4.
Yeah, because
But I only read the first 1.5 issues.
It's like the last 2 issues are Galactus.
Okay.
If you're a Galactus fan at all.
Galactus is one of those that he's good when he well, that gets into another series, like in the Ultimate series that's running now in Marvel. Like they turn him from a planet eater into a planet built like he heals planets now.
What?
Yeah. So he's in almost every issue, and I'm like, no, that's not how you do Galactus. When Galactus shows up, it's all hands on deck. Oh shit, we're going to die.
Yeah.
So to have him be a good guy now, or a force for good,
Well,
was an interesting twist.
He combined in the Ultimate Universe with the Galactus.
He combined with the Ultimate Galactus. Yeah, the Galactus.
Yeah,
he combined with them, and that became a whole new ballpark altogether.
And because I read Cataclysm.
Yeah,
I know Thor sacrificed himself to defeat Galactus,
which is what leads us into Unworthy Thor, where the hammer came from.
Yeah, and so where's Galactus now?
As of in Ultimates, now I might have to catch up, but in one of the first few issues of Ultimates, which is like Captain Marvel, Black Panther, it's a space-based comic book, kind of like a sister to the Guardians of the Galaxy. And they do something to Galactus. Their first mission is they're going to go after Galactus and stop him from ever destroying another planet again.
Okay.
That's their first job. We're going to keep this from ever happening to another world. And then they get to him, and something happens. I can't remember exactly what they did, but they change him like he's white now. Okay. And like he now heals planets instead of devours them. To which I was like, that completely destroys. I guess you and I can both say that we are definitively fans of the 90s genre because in the 90s, that's when they established that Galactus was a counterbalance of the universe. Where there is life, there has to be death. So as life exists, Galactus has to exist.
Yeah.
And so to have them destroy that kind of sort of...
Which technically, I guess if that means he's bringing life, something else out there is bringing death.
I would say so.
Woo! All right. Well, anyway, that's pretty much it for this edition of Comic Book Malarkey.
Always remember, we are sponsored by Infinity Flux right here in Hickson, Tennessee.
Yeah, we are here, and as you can see, we are kind of sitting in a different place right now, and that is because from now until May 3rd, they are completely revamping the comic book side. All of the comic books are going to be over here beginning May 3rd. And so we've kind of swapped our stuff around, and we're the only ones in here right now, just checking everything out. But yeah.
Speaking of May, don't forget to come check out Infinity Flux on May 6th for Free Comic Book Day.
Yes. Matter of fact, we need to be doing a video at some point on all of the Free Comic Book Day books because they're already here.
They are?
Yep, but they can't sell them, give them away or anything, but we can look at them.
We should probably do that.
Yep.
We need to talk to Jason.
Yeah, we do.
He's left.
Yes. But anyway, I'm Lonnie.
I'm Mark.
And we are Untitled Nerd Network. This is Comic Book Malarkey.
And we're out.